Welcome to Accounting Theory classes. I am Venkatmurthy SG, Assistant Professor of Commerce, Government First Grade College, Monkey. Topic of the session: Measurement and Valuation of Liabilities. Content of the session: Meaning and concept of measurement of liability, objectives of measurement of liabilities, advantages of measurement of liabilities. Measurement or valuation of liabilities. The measurement or valuation of liability is a part of the process of measuring both capital and income. It is important to measure liability to maintain capital and ascertainment of firm's financial position. According to Barton, the requirements for an accurate measure of the financial position and financial structure should determine the basis for liability valuation. Their valuation should be consistent with valuation of assets and expenses. Liabilities must be properly measured for reporting accurately to the true and fair views of profit or loss and financial position. Liabilities are measured in conformity with the cost principle. When an obligation is created initially, the amount of liability is equivalent to the current market value of the resources received when the transactions occur. Objectives of valuation of liabilities are as follows. 1. To determine the income of the business. When the firm wants to determine the income of the business, it must in a position to evaluate its liabilities. Whenever we value our liabilities, we can able to find out what is the amount of assets supposed to be sacrificed towards fulfillment of conditions of the liabilities. It may be payment of interest on liability or liability repayment out of the income generated by the business. To present the financial position of the business before the investors. Whenever company wants to extend its activity, it may go for additional capital investment. For that, it may attract some investors by presenting their financial positions in front of the investors, and for that matter, they have to go for valuation of liability to present the financial position in front of the investors. To present the true financial position before the creditors. Whenever the business wants to get business loans or credit extension by its creditors, then it must have sound financial position. To convince the creditors regarding the financial position of the business, the firm has to go for measurement of liability or valuation of liability, and it has to present its liability position in front of the creditors. To help the management to take decision. Whenever management has to take decision, it must consider all the assets condition and any other liabilities attached with the company. Based on asset and liability condition and net worth of the business, it has to take decision regarding investment and financing activity of the companies. Advantages of measurement of liabilities. A. Helps the business units to calculate financial ratios. Whenever companies wants to calculate its financial ratios, it is necessary to measure its liabilities. Not only the total liability, it has to measure different sections or different parts of liabilities. It may be long-term liabilities, it may be short-term liabilities, it may be contingent or owner's equity. Second one, helps for ascertain cash requirement of the business. As I explained earlier, whenever company wants to know its cash position or cash requirement, it has to evaluate or it has to measure its liabilities. When the firm is able to evaluate its liabilities, then only it can able to understand or it can come to know what is the cash requirement for fulfill the liability conditions of the business. Third one, helps for comparison of financial position. If a management wants to compare its financial position with earlier accounting years, and if at all it want to compare its financial position with other parallel companies, then it must have measurement of liabilities. Next, enhancing the decision making capacity of the management. Measurement of liabilities enhances the decision making capabilities of the management by providing proper basis for taking decisions in effective manner. Helps in legal compliances for the business units. As we all know, it is necessary to prepare and present financial reports, okay, to the investors and shareholders every year. It's a part of the compliance process to measure liabilities of the business to fulfill its financial statement requirements. Helps in preparation and presentation of financial statement to users. Measurement of liabilities helps for preparation and presentation of financial statement as per user's requirement. Whenever the user checks the liability positions of the business, he can able to understand what is the asset and what is the liability, and by comparing assets and liabilities, he can decide what is the net worth or real value of the business. Last point, helps to reflect the creditworthiness of business unit. Measurement of liabilities helps to reflect the creditworthiness of the business unit by comparing assets with liabilities. By comparing assets with liabilities, one can understand what is the financial health or what is the health of the business related with financial matter in given situation. References of the session are as follows.